Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into a topic that so many of you have asked about: how to effectively learn and use a language at the B1 and B2 levels. If you've been feeling stuck, like you've hit a plateau after the beginner stages, this episode is for you. We're going to break down exactly what B1 and B2 mean, what skills you need to focus on, and some practical strategies to push your language abilities to the next level. So, grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's get started on your journey to fluency. First, let's clarify what these levels are all about. Think of the CEFR, or the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. It's a way to measure language proficiency. The B level is for independent users. At B1, you're an intermediate speaker. You can handle most everyday situations. Understand the main points of clear standard input on familiar matters and describe experiences, events, dreams, and ambitions. You can give reasons and explanations for your opinions and plans. It's the level where you start to feel like you can actually use the language in the real world, not just in a classroom. Moving up to B2, or upper intermediate, is a significant jump. At B2, you can understand the main ideas of complex text on both concrete and abstract topics, including technical discussions in your field of specialization. You can interact with a degree of fluency and spontaneity that makes regular interaction with native speakers quite possible without strain for either party. You can produce clear, detailed text on a wide range of subjects and explain a viewpoint on a topical issue, giving the advantages and disadvantages of various options. It's the level where you really start to feel confident and capable. So, how do you bridge that gap from B1 to B2? It's one of the most common places for learners to get stuck. The key is to shift your learning strategy. At the beginner levels, you're focused on building a foundation basic grammar, core vocabulary. But at B1, you need to start using that foundation to build something bigger. My first big tip for any B1 learner is to increase your input massively, and I mean a variety of input. Don't just stick to your textbook. Start listening to podcasts designed for learners, watch TV shows with subtitles in the target language, and read graded readers or news articles on topics you genuinely find interesting. The goal here is to get comfortable with the language as it's actually used by native speakers. You'll start to notice patterns, pick up new vocabulary in context, and get a better feel for the rhythm and flow of the language. At first, you won't understand everything, and that's completely okay. The point is exposure. Don't pause to look up every single word. Try to get the general meaning from the context. This is called extensive reading and listening, and it's incredibly powerful for moving past that intermediate plateau. Now, let's talk about output. You can't just consume content, you have to produce it. For B1 learners, this can be intimidating, but it's essential. Start small. Try journaling in your target language for just 5 minutes a day. Write about your day, your thoughts or your plans for the weekend. It doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is to activate the vocabulary and grammar you've been learning. Another great technique is to talk to yourself. I know it sounds a bit strange, but narrating your daily actions out loud is a fantastic, pressure-free way to practice speaking. Okay, now I'm making coffee. I'm adding milk. It gets your brain thinking in the language. Of course, finding a speaking partner is ideal. Look for language exchange apps or websites where you can connect with native speakers who are learning your language. You can spend half the time speaking their language and half the time speaking yours. This is where you'll really start to put your skills to the test, get real-time feedback, and build confidence in your conversational abilities. Remember, making mistakes is part of the process. Every error is a learning opportunity. Now, for those of you pushing from B1 to the B2 level, the game changes slightly. At B2, it's all about nuance, precision, and fluency. Your input needs to become more challenging. Instead of shows for learners, start watching authentic content made for native speakers. Watch movies without subtitles or with subtitles in the target language, not your own. Listen to podcasts on complex subjects like science, politics, or history. Read novels, not just graded readers. This is where you'll encounter the rich idiomatic language that characterizes fluent speech. Your vocabulary study also needs to evolve. Instead of just memorizing single words, focus on collocations words that naturally go together. For example, instead of just learning the word mistake, learn phrases like make a mistake or a common mistake. This will make your speech sound much more natural. Pay attention to synonyms and the subtle differences in meaning between them. Why would a native speaker choose one word over another in a particular context? This level of detail is what separates a B1 speaker from a B2 speaker. For your output practice at the B2 level, you need to push yourself to express more complex ideas. Don't just describe what you did, explain why you did it. Argue a point. Defend your opinion. A great exercise is to pick a controversial topic, research it a little in your target language, and then try to explain both sides of the argument, finally concluding with your own opinion. You can do this through writing or by recording yourself speaking. When you listen back, you can identify areas where you struggled to express yourself or where your grammar was a bit shaky. Another crucial skill for B2 is spontaneity. To develop this, try exercises that force you to think on your feet. For example, use a random word generator and try to speak for 1 minute about whatever word comes up. Or join a debate club or an improv group in your target language if one is available. These activities force you to react and respond in real time, which is a key component of fluency. You're training your brain to access language quickly and efficiently without translating in your head. Let's recap the key strategies. For B1 learners, focus on massive, varied input. Read and listen to things you enjoy. Start producing language through low-pressure activities like journaling and talking to yourself, and find a language exchange partner. For those aiming for B2, upgrade your input to authentic native level content. Focus on nuance, collocations, and expressing complex ideas. Practice spontaneity and push yourself to argue and defend your opinions. Ultimately, the journey from B1 to B2 and beyond is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about consistency and finding methods that you enjoy and can stick with. Don't get discouraged by the plateau. Everyone hits it. The learners who break through are the ones who change their strategy, embrace the discomfort of more challenging material, and consistently practice both consuming and producing the language. Find a community, track your progress, and celebrate the small wins along the way. You are building an incredible skill, and every single step forward counts. That's all the time we have for today. I hope these tips give you a clear roadmap for your B1 and B2 language journey. What are your favorite strategies for breaking through the intermediate plateau? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading your ideas and experiences. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more language learning content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.